You are welcome to yet another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show, where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. The evidence presented in the new motion filed by R. Kelly's attorneys reveals a grave miscarriage of justice that demands immediate action. Robert Kelly, a man wrongfully entangled in a web of deceit, currently faces life-threatening risk due to the unethical and illegal actions of federal officials and possible cooperating inmates who they could have hired to kill him. Let's break this down with the clarity it deserves. The document filed as part of a new motion by Kelly's attorneys highlights how Ingram, armed with illicit access granted by someone within the Department of Justice, stole emails and called data that were specifically inflammatory to principal witness Jane. These were private conversations by R. Kelly to which Jane was privy, meaning she had no way to anticipate or defend against their exposure. This data theft was not random, it was a calculated move to bias witnesses against Kelly and bolster the government's case. And only those with intimate knowledge of the investigation could have targeted these specific communications, underscoring a deliberate abuse of power. Meanwhile, this isn't just a breach of privacy. It's a major violation of attorney-client privilege. The stolen communications included those with Kelly's attorney at the time, which are by standard protected as restricted information under the law. For a federal prison official to exploit their position of trust in this manner is a shameful abuse, as the document rightly states. But the situation escalates far beyond this initial betrayal. Kelly's cellmate, who was manipulated into furthering this injustice, was with Kelly both before his transfer to New York for a face-to-face trial, and again months later when he returned to the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Chicago after his New York trial. In a declaration attached as Exhibit B, Kelly's cellmate admits to meeting with prosecutors and seeking a reduced sentence in exchange for cooperation against Kelly. According to his confession, he agreed to steal Kelly's written correspondence from their shared cell and provide it to prison officials, who then handed it to the government attorneys handling the investigation. This act, orchestrated with the involvement of then lead prosecutor Angel Krull, who debriefed Kelly's cellmate and received the stolen correspondence, is nothing short of theft. Let's be clear, stealing legal correspondence is a crime. The motion further emphasizes that it is a separate offense for one inmate to steal another's legal materials, and an even a graver crime for prosecutor Angel Krull and Bureau of Prisons officials to direct and utilize this stolen privileged information. Remember, this is not mere misconduct, it is total obstruction of justice, a deliberate attempt to undermine Kelly's right to a fair defense. Meanwhile, Kelly's life hangs in the balance as a result of these actions. In fact, his continued incarceration poses an imminent danger, exacerbated by the betrayal of those entrusted to uphold the law. Imagine the cellmate's cooperation was incentivized by the promise of leniency with regard to his own case, creating a coerced confession that taints the entire case. Prosecutor Angel Krull's role in receiving and likely directing this theft further compromises the integrity of the prosecution. The government's case, which was therefore built on stolen communications and coerced testimony, collapses under its own illegality. The law demands that justice be blind and not manipulated by those in power. Looking at the arguments in the newly filed motion, Kelly's attorneys have every right to demand his immediate release to house arrest, where he can be protected from the dangers posed by this corrupt system to his life. The theft and leaking of his legal correspondence in fact severed his ability to prepare a defense, a right guaranteed to all defendants under the Constitution. These government actions have not only violated legal ethics, but have also endangered Kelly's safety, making his release a necessary remedy. Consider the precedent this sets. If federal officials can orchestrate the theft of privileged communications, and use these to coerce inmates into espionage, no defendant is safe. In fact, Kelly's case is a stark example of how power can be abused to target an individual, stripping away the very principles our justice system claims to uphold. The motion's call for house arrest is therefore not an ask for leniency but a lifeline, ensuring Kelly's survival while this case is investigated. The motion exposes a conspiracy that goes as far as into the heart of the Department of Justice. Ingram's illicit access to prison data, together with witness coercion, Theft and Kroll's complicity form a chain of corruption that has irreparably damaged Kelly's case. The court must act swiftly to rectify this injustice, releasing Kelly to house arrest pending a thorough review. His life depends on it, and the integrity of our legal system hangs in the balance. The motion unveils a severe injustice threatening Robert Kelly's life, stemming from the unlawful actions of federal officials and an inmate. It demands his release to house arrest with immediate effect due to imminent danger. The case hinges on Ingram, who with unauthorized access from within the Department of Justice pilfered the private emails and calls targeting witness Jane. These were confidential exchanges they couldn't foresee or counter, deliberately selected to sway witnesses against Kelly and strengthen the prosecution's stance. A move only those privy to the investigation could orchestrate. This transgression extends beyond privacy, violating attorney-client privilege by seizing communications with Kelly's lawyer. Such exploitation by a federal prison official marks a profound breach of public trust in the justice system. His cellmate's declaration confesses to meetings with prosecutors, trading stolen correspondence for a lighter sentence. This material, handed to prison officials and then to government attorneys via Angel Kroll, constitutes a clear theft. Legally, pilfering another inmate's legal documents is a crime compounded by the official's role in directing and using this privileged information. This amounts to obstruction of justice, undermining Kelly's fair trial rights. His safety is jeopardized by this misconduct. Justice must remain impartial, not a tool for manipulation. Kelly's team rightfully seeks house arrest to shield him from this corrupted system, as the theft crippled his defense preparation. The broader implication is chilling: if officials can engineer such schemes, no defendant is secure. The evidence points to a conspiracy within the Department of Justice. The court must act decisively, granting house arrest to safeguard Kelly and preserve legal integrity. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say? To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.